Patrick, what is that?
Oh, it's a camera!
For decades, SpongeBob SquarePants has been one of the most beloved cartoons in history. An innocent sponge, a pineapple under the sea, a town full of laughter and absurdity, but beneath the surface of all that joy, there's a theory. A theory that changes how you see everything, because what if Bikini Bottom wasn't just a funny underwater city? What if it was the afterlife of a nuclear devastation? A place built from fallout, a society of mutated creatures, descendants of an atomic past humanity buried and forgot. This is the SpongeBob nuclear theory, and it's a lot darker than you think. Let's start with the name, Bikini Bottom. It sounds silly, random, but it's not. Bikini Bottom is directly inspired by Bikini Atoll, a real location in the Marshall Islands where the US conducted some of the most destructive nuclear tests in history. Between 1946 and 1958, 23 nuclear bombs were detonated there, one of them being over 1,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima. The explosions were so massive that they created craters visible from space. They vaporized islands, poisoned the reefs, and forced entire populations of Pacific Islanders to evacuate forever. And yet, decades later, a children's cartoon sets its world directly beneath it, Bikini Bottom. The bottom of Bikini Atoll. It feels deliberate, doesn't it? Because Steven Hillenburg, SpongeBob's creator, wasn't just some writer who picked a random name. He was a marine biologist. He knew what Bikini Atoll was, and he understood the science, the ecology, and the history behind the place. So, why would he pick that name for a show about mutated sea life? To understand this theory, we have to imagine what nuclear testing actually does to the ocean. When those bombs were detonated, they didn't just destroy the islands, they poisoned everything nearby. The coral, the fish, the plankton, everything absorbed radiation. It's not hard to imagine that in a fictional world, those organisms evolved, they adapted, mutated, and gained intelligence. That's exactly what we see in SpongeBob. A sponge who laughs, a starfish who walks and talks, and a crab obsessed with money. They're all biological impossibilities. I'm sorry, my cat is slapping the screen in my window. But if they're the descendants of irradiated sea life, it suddenly starts to make sense. Even their world looks suspiciously human. Street lamps, fast food chains, a police system, all beneath the sea. They didn't build that from scratch, they found it. Remnants of the human world dropped, sunk, and distorted over time. That's why their architecture looks like human debris, anchors, barrels, and propellers. Their entire society is built from what's left of ours. Bikini Bottom isn't a new civilization, it's what came after. To truly feel the weight of this theory, we need to figure out what actually happened at Bikini Atoll. In 1946, the US government selected Bikini Atoll for atomic testing. The native population, around 167 people, were told to temporarily relocate. They never ended up returning. The first bomb, called Able, detonated on July 1st, 1946. The second, Baker, detonated underwater 27 meters below the surface. That blast created a radioactive column of water over a half a mile wide. Fish vaporized instantly, ships melted, and the seafloor was coated in a radioactive sludge. When SpongeBob fans discovered that Bikini Bottom sits directly under this location, everything changed. Because that means Bikini Bottom's surface world, the one SpongeBob sometimes visits in episodes, is actually our world. The nukes that fell on Bikini Atoll destroyed the surface, but in the show's universe, they created something else beneath it. Once you start looking for the clues, you can't unsee them. Explosions happen constantly. Fires underwater. This isn't a physics error, it's symbolism. The energy of the bomb still echoes throughout their world. Goo Lagoon, an oily, chemical sea inside the ocean, possibly a reference to toxic waste or irradiated runoff. And Sandy's Tree Dome, a self-contained air environment, almost like a lab containment unit, isolating her from the irradiated sea. Jellyfish fields, creatures that emit electricity like a biological radiation, even SpongeBob's body. He can stretch, regenerate, absorb impact, and survive anything, exactly how a mutant organism might adapt. When you strip away the laughter, the show becomes a story about recovery, about what happens after the world ends, and how life finds a way to start over. SpongeBob isn't a victim, he's hope. A reminder that joy can survive even in a poisoned world. So maybe the SpongeBob nuclear theory isn't just dark, maybe it's poetic. Because in the ruins of humanity's mistakes, the ocean built something new, something colorful, and something that smiles. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're already almost at 1,000 subs. I'm shitting and crying, dude. I'm hyped. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Make sure you like the video, hit the notification bell, do the YouTuber things. I don't know, stuff like that. Yeah, see you guys in the next one. Take care, don't die, don't let the bed bugs bite. Partner. That's how I would sound if I was from Texas. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.